The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships, or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking specifically about why I made walking a daily habit. And this has been going on for about 10 weeks, and it's something new. It's something that I implemented, and I think it's a really, powerful way to begin your day. Not only that, but I found myself getting stuck at my desk for hours. And it's something that, one, I wanted to be consistent with my workouts at the beginning of the year, but it was also something that I started to see as my body was not changing as fast as I would like in the gym. And I really started looking at the reason why. And what I started to notice is, a lot of people will say, just wait until you're 30, just wait until you're 40, just wait until you're 50. But rather than let that be an excuse of getting older, what I started to notice was, my activity level of being behind a desk or sitting, as I started to see myself sitting and being behind a desk a lot more. In fact, as I started to see this, I started to go back and track how much steps I was getting in every single day. And it was somewhere between 6,000 to 8,000. I also realized that on my iPhone specifically, I can go back a couple years that I didn't even know I was tracking and see that this has been going on for a few years. So although, yes, I might be getting older, although I no longer work in personal training, which is what I did for 12, 13 years, having my own gyms, it wasn't an excuse, and it's not an excuse I'm willing to do. And so some of the things that I really started to notice was, although I would be in the gym working out and getting it in, I saw my body less and less change. And so I really had to go back and kind of reverse engineer, okay, what's going on. And it's this whole concept of, what begins to happen as we age is, I believe that we get less active, and that's the bigger issue, not necessarily that we're aging. Being stuck behind a desk, being stuck training and coaching people on Zoom is great, but it also lowers your activity level. And so I started tracking it and becoming aware of it. Once I started doing that, then one of the things that I began to see was that I wasn't moving as much as I was 5 years ago. And I can go back several years and see the difference. And so what's changed is, now I'm averaging, a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. Most days I probably average around 12,000. Out of the last 10 weeks, I've maybe hit under 10,000 steps once each month, in the month of May, in the month of April. And then as I started tracking it was kind of the first week in March. And then as I started tracking it, becoming aware of it, I started bumping that up more and more to where literally out of 10 weeks, I think I've missed it less than a half a dozen times. So it's one of those things where, the first thing that I do every single day is I begin to walk for the first 30 minutes. What that's allowed me to be able to do is I started praying on my walks because there's a hill by my house that it goes about 15 minutes up and then it's about 15 minutes back. And that allows me to kind of pray on my way up and really allows me to kind of build that relationship with God, to communicate with them and really listen and let him lead. And then I also added worship music to the first half of that. And then once I get to the top, I usually do an audiobook, or if I feel like, hey, I still need to talk, then I'll do that and pray. That allows me on the way back to, do an audiobook. And so it really allows me to stack 3 or 4 habits at once. And one of the things that I notice is, as I get to go through, problems for the day, I get to walk and talk with, God and really pray and really sit there and listen and just really be out in touch with nature. A lot of times, many days I get to see the sunrise. You get outside, you feel grounded. I notice less stress and a lot more relaxed. And then I can kind of go through my day and see what I have planned and really prepare for that before I step into anything else. And then just having a sense of peace every single morning and knowing that, I spent time with God. I spent time communicating and working on that relationship has been one of the most impactful things. Now, a lot of people, may ask like, hey, well, when's the best time to walk? I really think the first thing in the morning, what I've noticed is great. Obviously we can walk anytime. I think the other best times to walk, which I've really noticed is, walking for 15 to 20 minutes after each meal. It's also helped improve, digestion. It's helped improve energy, and it's actually helped improve, my overall body. And so, walking to me is such a great form of exercise. It's a great form of mental health. But also, I've made it spiritual health, and I've incorporated also just learning from that in general. And so the benefits, the health benefits, the physical benefits, but also the spiritual and mental benefits have been huge also. And I've really started to make sure in the middle of the day, I go for at least a 15 to 20 minute walk. And then also later in the evening after kind of those main meals. And that's, allowed me to help with digestion, energy, and a lot of other things. So if you're not currently walking, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a business owner, because it really allows you to kind of get set up and prepared for your day. If you're maybe not a business owner, but you're trying to, change your health, I think it's one of the best things that we can do for our mental health, spiritual health, and also physical health, just to make sure that we're getting in at least 10,000 steps a day. And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know how many steps I'm getting in a day. Start tracking it so that you can actually see the benefit of it. And you can actually start to notice and become aware of how many steps you're getting in every single day. So guys, if you have any questions on this, you want to learn more about habit-based lifestyle, you can join our private Facebook group called Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets, where we talk about habits, we talk about health, we talk about business and lifestyle. If you're listening to the show and you want to find out more about us, jump into that group, or you can message me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewell.